Okay, so I'm in Barbados now enjoying the warm Christmas, but I'm also preparing for an open myomectomy, and I want to give an update on what all this preparation entails. First of all, I had to make sure that I had my Barbados identification on hand because the cost for Barbadian is different from the cost for a foreigner, pretty much. So I went to meet the gynecologist that I selected. This was the second gynecologist, the second Barbadian gynecologist that I spoke with. And I met him about 3 days ago. During that consultation, he asked me a couple of questions about the symptoms that I am experiencing, and he did an examination. And he also uh, gave me some insight into what to expect during the surgery. I think I asked him some questions that I thought were a little weird, but in the end, he said, "Oh, no, those are perfectly normal questions." So I'll get back to those questions shortly, but I just want to tell you what were specifically the steps I had to take. So after speaking with the gynecologist, I was directed to go to several different places. First of all, I had to go to the Barbados Reference Lab, and there they drew blood, and they took two vials or tubes of blood. They kept one and they gave me a second one plus this blue slip of paper, bagged it up in a biohazard bag, and I had to drive that over to the QEH lab and deposit it there. I also had to go to the hospital where I'm going to have the surgery to complete a pre-admission form, and that form pretty much is like all of my personal information, my next of kin, my guarantor, my emergency contact, specifically which type of accommodations I want. So did I want a suite? Did I want a private or semi-private room? Of course, the prices are different depending on which type of accommodation you select. I was told that typically for a myomectomy, the stay in the hospital is 3 days. The doctor had told me about 48 hours. The hospital estimated 3 days, and they said it was about, I can't remember the exact figure. It was over 8,000 Barbados dollars for semi-private room and over 9,000 Barbados for a private room. And fill out a form saying like, what are my dietary preferences? And at that time, there was the option to pay on the spot or wait until the morning of the procedure. I chose to wait until the morning of the procedure because I don't got tomorrow put down. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it is sensible to prepay $8,000. That is crazy business. Suppose I get hit by a truck tomorrow. I know my family got to be scrambling to get back that 8,000, right? So I made the decision to pay the morning of the surgery. I then had to go from there to speak with an anesthesiologist, but because my surgery is not imminent, it's not within the next couple of days, I actually made the decision to postpone that appointment. So I will meet with the anesthesiologist about 4 days before the surgery. And I think I'm going to prepare a bunch of questions to ask him because, I mean, my life is also in that guy's hands. Suppose he does the wrong thing, and I don't even get to the surgery, you know? I also need to take one blood donor to the blood bank to make a donation under my name. So my understanding is that because I will need blood for that surgery, we want that somebody puts blood back into the bank. It does not matter if the person has the same blood type that I do. It just has to be a deposit back into the bank so that they have their stores at a specific level. I think if you don't get a donor, typically you have to pay some fee in lieu of having a donor, but obviously a blood bank would prefer you to bank blood, right? That makes perfect sense. I'll have to do another blood test about 2 weeks before the surgery, and that is to check for, my blood count, my kidney function, diabetes, that kind of thing. I at the start of this week actually had a blood test, a complete gut blood count and ferritin test done in Toronto. Although my iron level is up, it is not yet high enough, so it's still considered low. So I have to now increase my supplements. I think I mentioned before that I had stopped taking Ferromax because I did not like the horrible constipation side effects that it caused, and I had switched to a lower dosage. So instead of taking 150 milligrams of iron daily, I switched to 25 milligrams of iron, and I had also stretched it out, taking it every other day. I think that the fact that my iron count went up shows that I am absorbing the iron better, but clearly not fast enough. So I am going to now accelerate the iron intake to every day instead of every other day. And beyond that, there are some considerations that the doctor shared with me regarding post-surgery. So I'll share those in the next video.